The European Central Bank has made the decision to proceed with its digital euro plans. I believe I have worked out the timing and the reason the European Bank is now trying to move things along after doing some research and digging. It's important that you catch up on a lot of information. In this video, we will discuss all of that. Naturally, we'll also look into some links to Ripple and XRP with everything that's happening in the Eurozone and why it's so crucial right now that they advance. Let's get a better understanding of all this stuff now. Please support the video if you find any value in it, people. That would be really appreciated. Hi there. Regarding the digital euro front, I have good news for you. The Governing Council has made the decision to proceed with the next and last stage of the digital euro preparations today. The other positive development is that on October 23rd, the European Council requested that we and everyone else involved expedite the process in order to launch the digital euro as soon as feasible. This is crucial because although banknotes will still be used, we also want cash to be in the form of digital euros so that you may click cash with the digital euros and circulate banknotes. In the coming months, further work will be completed, and if the European Parliament gives its permission by the end of the 26th, we will be able to pilot the digital euro by the end of the 27th. Additionally, if the pilot proves definitive and beneficial, it will formally roll out throughout Europe in 2029. Since the euro is both your and our currency, this is a significant undertaking. It unites us. It represents faith in our shared future. Thus, in the next and last stage of preparation, we move forward with the digital euro. Okay, goodbye. Why are they proceeding now then? Why are they proceeding now? Why is now such a significant moment for the euro as a whole? I wanted to know more about this. Therefore, the European Central Bank must move swiftly to implement the digital euro since it increases Europe's financial independence, lessens dependency on other payment methods, and guarantees that the euro will continue to be durable and competitive as the world moves toward digital payments. The euro is a significant currency in international trade as well as within the Eurozone. However, the US dollar continues to rule important markets, particularly for products coming into the EU. This is where the significance lies. In the face of growing geopolitical tensions and competition from commercial payment systems, especially US-dominated networks like Visa, MasterCard, and of course, stable coins, the European Central Bank, ECB, views the digital euro as essential to preserving monetary sovereignty and economic resilience. A quicker adoption would improve transaction security, minimize merchant costs, lessen Europe's reliance on non-European providers, and provide the groundwork for innovation and competition in digital payments. A digital euro would ensure that everyone has access to central bank currency in digital form, providing continuity for both individuals and companies in the event of disasters like wars or cyber attacks. If Europe waits, it could lag behind other areas in developing CBDC technology, which would diminish its contribution to the global financial system. In order to determine whether other currencies are vying for market share in Europe, I also wanted to know how much of the euro is now utilized for commerce within the EU. And perhaps that's another reason they're making progress. Says the use of euros in international trade. Thus, keep in mind that this is in billions. I just want to make that obvious. From January to July of 2020, the euro area exported 1.739 billion worth of goods to the rest of the globe. I believe this to be 1.7 trillion, since exports were 1.6 trillion and 1.7 trillion equals 1.7 trillion. For the first time in 7 months, Eurozone trade reached 1.5 trillion, which was also enormous. With 52% of the market share, the euro was the most widely used currency in the EU in 2023, followed by the dollar with 32%. The euro made up 46% of all additional EU trade imports and exports, compared to 42% for US dollars. As you can see, we're catching up to the dollar in terms of market share. And this, in my opinion, is what is causing the digital euro and the timeline to move a little bit faster. EU commerce in the dollar and other currencies. I simply wanted to gain a better understanding of this. In 2023, the US dollar accounted for 50% of all imports in the EU, while the euro made up 41%. Additionally, there are a variety of other currencies in use here. These kinds of things are what I want to know. I'm not sure. Perhaps that was useful to you. Perhaps it wasn't, but This is how my brain functions and how I think. And all I want to know is as much as possible. And if you look at the global adoption on the left, you'll see that 3 CBDCs have been launched, 49 pilots are in green, 20 are in light blue, 20 are in development, and 36 are in research. These are shown in light pink. Just taking a glance at this, you can see that all of the pilots are green. The pink here has been launched, as you can see. Pink is introduced. Okay. The red has been canceled. Right here are the only two red ones. Naturally, there is also this other type of color present with the United States and a few other nations. Thus, the world is progressing. This site tracks 137 nations, currencies, and currency unions. And if you're in one of these nations and you're beginning to see a rollout of CBDC, please let me know what you're going through there. I'd like to comprehend that better. The growth of stablecoins that dominate the US dollar is perhaps the reason why the ECB is speeding its work on the digital euro. With 99.8% US dollars, the market is currently worth $352 billion. Thus, this is the cause. The European Union is concerned that other currencies, such as the yuan or I'm trying to think of another international currency, would overtake the dollar as the dominant currency. The Russian ruble is probably not one of them at the moment. Russia has its own set of problems. Therefore, I would assume that the yen and other similar currencies may be exerting some pressure, but typically the dollar's dominance is what propels them forward in this situation. The Governing Council has also made the decision to go to the next round. That information was obtained by us. According to Smokedog, the digital euro plus XRP-based technology will be issued via the EU DLT pilot program, which is regulated with MiCA stablecoins and CBDCs. EU DLT experimental program for XRPL digital euros. He is referring to the fact that CBDCs will be issued under the DLT pilot regime. At the EU level, the CBDC will serve as a digital representation of the euro, thus establishing some links here. What is the axiology of dispersed financial market infrastructure, by the way? The European Union piloted this technology as part of its plans for a digital euro and the CBDC. Thus, AMMs are a secondary market for securities and tokenization. I've given you a lot of information about the EU's relationship with Ripple and their long-standing activities there. I simply felt it was worth including. One of the items they released yesterday was this one. We did discuss this in the video that was released today. It essentially discusses the rollout in the phase. I've previously provided you a lot of this material, but in case you wanted to view the document for yourself, here it is. You may find the press release and other materials here if you'd like. The digital euro, the next stage, has been formally adopted by the European Central Bank, and these are a few of the businesses that will be participating in this. Did draw attention to this in a prior video. One business in particular, G+D, stands out for its offline solutions. The name escapes me. I will not even attempt to butcher it once more. Thus, there are some links between G and D and Ripple. In 2023, Ripple bought Medico, a Swiss digital asset custody company, of which G+D was a principal investor. Additionally, G+D and Ripple are partners in a larger CBDC and digital payments infrastructure initiative. Additionally, both businesses were original participants in the MasterCard CBDC partner program. Thus, it's intriguing to observe how Ripple is influencing some of the links into the European Central Business District. I hope that was useful to you. I really appreciate you being here. I'll see you again soon. Enjoy your weekend.